Hey, YouTube. Titans fans everywhere. This is James, aka Big Sportsman, aka Titans for Life. I have been off of YouTube for a little over a week now, as you all know. It's been kind of tough. We've had some issues here at my house. My house burned down the other day, and we've been trying to deal with this for about a week and deal with all of the things that go on with it. I was with Titans Rossi at the game, and that was around the time. That was just a few days after our house burned down. So I'm doing this live right now. Um, I want to apologize for being off, but of course, right now I'm on a borrowed computer making this video. I'm going to have to stick with live videos for a little while. My editing machine was destroyed. Um, Most of my equipment was destroyed. I have basically just wires now because I had duplicate wires, but I had just basically wires. The rest of the equipment's gone. And it's going to take a while for me to rebuild all of this up and get everything to where it needs to be. The um, the overarching thing that I want to say is that I'll be back. I'm going to be on here. I'm going to be doing a lot of things on YouTube and providing content, some insights, and some thoughts about the Titans' loss, what they're where they are going to head, and things like that. Some of the things I may say you may agree with. Some of them you may not. But once again, always be nice and keep it real to one another. Um, I think that the biggest thing right now that everyone's talking about is Ryan Tannehill. Can Ryan Tannehill be the man? There are times in which you can look at his play and you can say yes, and there are times you can look at his play and you would have to say no. But to be honest with you, um, I am the jury's still out for me. He has made some huge plays to win some huge games for the Titans. He's done this over and over and over and over again over the past, few years that he's been with the team. He's made some tremendous throws, some tremendous runs with his feet. He's made some tremendous changes to calls at the line of scrimmage. He's gone through a lot of adversity over this season where you lose Derrick Henry, you lose AJ Brown, you lose Julio Jones, you lose your entire playmakers on offense, and you still go out and find ways to win. And he was able to do that. So I think he can find ways to win. I just think he needs to be put into a position to do that. I mean, he hasn't been in a good position to do that in many of these games. Wrong offensive personnel with the play that's being called. Offensive sets are wrong. Um, a lot of young guys, some players in which you know should have probably been on the team that really weren't. At the time. Yes, I'm talking about Mason Kinsey. Um, and some other things. I think that there are some things that need to be changed on the offensive line front. Where he was always seems to be he was always running for his life or in a collapsing pocket making throws. But on the other hand, there are times he just makes bonehead throws. There are times that he just makes bonehead throws and doesn't read the defense properly. He throws into coverages which are tight that sometimes he doesn't have to throw into given the down distance situation, game situation, and things like that. I think that there are a lot of things that he needs to work on. But all in all, I think really the offense was not was not clicking very well. He was hesitant to who he was throwing to in the Bengals game. He was very hesitant quite a bit. Me and Rossi were talking about that a lot about him being hesitant. So um, the jury's kind of still out on him. And with a $50 million cap hit next year, for the Titans next year, if we cut him, um, I just don't think it's economically feasible for the Titans to do anything with him. I don't know if anybody else would want to pick him up. I don't know if anybody, with guys like Russell Wilson being out there, I just don't know if there's going to be anyone who would want to pick him up based on his salary and based on his last game of play. However, I do think that he's there. He's the kind of guy who I think can get there given the right circumstances. And Arthur Smith put him in a lot of very good circumstances. He put him in a lot of circumstances where he didn't have to make bonehead decisions because he was never put in that position. So, all in all, what I'm saying is I think that Ryan Tannehill will be okay. I think he can get us there. I think he can get us to the Super Bowl. I think with the weapons around him, he can do that. I think he needs more work with them. I think he needs to understand what's going on in this particular type of offense that they're running right now, which is a little different than Arthur Smith. But I also think that, but when it comes to Todd Downing, I've seen enough. In the regular season, he was calling bonehead calls with the personnel on the field. He's not managing the personnel and play calling very well. I don't think he's managing the down and distance as well. I think he is trying to be too cute, as you would hear. He's trying to be the smartest man on the field and play calling when instead he should be play calling what the Titans do well and daring someone to stop it. That fourth and or that 3rd and 1, Tannehill has never missed a first down on 3rd and 1, on 3rd or 4th and 1 when he sneak the ball. If it doesn't work, then you hand off to Derrick Henry, or in this case, I thought it should have been Foreman. He had a much better grasp of the blocking, and he had a much better grasp because he's been in there for the last several weeks. So I think that was really a problem that the Titans had, was that Todd Downing he doesn't seem to know how to manage this. He puts personnel out there that shouldn't be out there. Julio Jones was not out there on many of these key down and distances where he could create a little bit of a mismatch, right? They're going to put their number one corner on AJ Brown. It is what it is. Julio is going to get the number 2. Nick Westbrook-Akina would end up with the number 3, and I think NWI can beat a number 3 corner. I think he can beat a number 3 corner. I think Julio can beat a number 2 corner, and AJ can beat just about any corner out there. So you create those mismatches, and then you turn around and you have Foreman, Dante Foreman, or King Henry out there, and then you have Ryan Tannehill, under center as opposed to off the line of scrimmage. And I think you create mismatches to where one of those guys is going to be man to man open, or they're not, or they're not going to be able to crowd the line of scrimmage and put 8 in a box. That's where I think the problems are. I think that that he's not managing things very well, and I think he's done it consistently throughout the season. He's done it almost every single time you watch him make play calls. The right personnel for the play call just isn't there. So I think Todd Downing, uh, he needs to grow a lot in order for him to be an effective offensive coordinator. And I think he also needs to maybe not be an offensive coordinator, maybe be more than just one position coach for a few years. I think he may need to go out there and be a wide receiver coach, offensive line coach, so that he gets a better understanding and grasp of personnel and how it makes a big difference in what you can call. You can't just call any play with the certain types of personnel. I think he needs to really grow in this, and he's not been. So I know, like, for instance, I was speaking with someone about Julio, and I think it's the Pelican 3 here. Um, Julio's hamstring was fine. He played downs before that, and he played, and he played downs before that. He had played several different downs. He was standing on the sidelines, literally, we're waiting to go in. I was watching where he was. He was standing right beside the coach on the sidelines. So I don't think it was a hamstring issue. He never went to the tent. He never went into over there to get looked at or complained. His stride looked fine after the game when he was walking on the field. His stride looked fine the plays before that. I just really think that it was uh, the offensive set that they had called out. It was bad for the play that they were going to run in this critical down and situation. And but even then, even if it had been his hamstring or something like that, then you go to a different play where Nick Westbrook can be more successful, where Julio or AJ Brown can be more successful. The way they had that play set up was, the defense was playing kind of a cover shell where there was a little bit of misdirection on whether they were playing man to man or they were playing zone, and it ended up being kind of a mix of a zone and a shell, which is a man to man shell with a zone concept over top, and that ends up being the interception. That's why there were so many guys standing right there. I think that this is a key situation where um, Todd Downing should have not called that play. There were several other plays they could call. There were several other things that they could have done. Um, so that's just where I think we are right now. Is that Todd Downing has done this multiple times over the whole year, and it's been terrible. Some of the stuff that he's done, uh, you know, really. I mean, get under center. I mean, still, um, even if they had decided to call this particular play, why have the quarterback in shotgun? I mean, that way you have to run 7, 8 yards just to get to the line of scrimmage. Then you have to run an additional yard. That gives the defense time to react. Quarterback sneak is where they should have been. Um, at least on third down. On fourth down, maybe run a sweep or a toss or something like that to get your playmaker in space. But really, I think this was just an epic fail by offensive play calling in general. Anyway, I'm going to get off here. I've been on for almost 13 minutes, going on. Now we're going into over 13 minutes up, and I'm going to talk to you guys later. Sorry about the not being able to get on and do some of my edited stuff. I had some videos that had already been prepared. Of course, they've been destroyed in the fire. So sorry about that. Um, Always be nice to one another, and remember, always keep it real.